right, welcome everybody. Aaron Lacey here with Wes, your digital marketing coach and speaker, and I'm so excited to be bringing you an incredible session on how to create incredible graphics. So flyers, logos, invitations, social media graphics and posts, infographics using Canva. So we're going to dive into Canva and kind of make it a workshop, a tutorial here today for the next 45 minutes or so. Okay, so and then of course I'm joined by Kelly Snowden, who is rock star partner with WFG national title. So you guys, thank you so much for having us. So let me get my screen shared, and then I want to see, can you kind of just give me show of hands, or however you want to show me. You can say something. How many have used Canva before? How many of you guys have used Canva before? Okay. Okay.
I love Canva.
Okay, great. All right, so we got a lot of Canva aficionados here. This is perfect. So you guys, I am recording this session. I'll share the replay as well after this. And so, I'm going to go ahead and just dive right in. So this is going to be less presentation format and more just we're going to get our hands dirty getting into Canva. And what I want to really focus on are a couple of things. I think things that are relevant to your guys' world. And number one would be, how can we create awesome and branded consistently social media graphics that are shareable? And then the other thing is, how can we create a property flyer if we need to in a pinch, and a kind of a shareable flyer. And then I think the third thing, I want to show you how to create your cover photos for LinkedIn, your Facebook business page, for Twitter, for Google, for your Realtor.com profile, because all of those have the opportunity for you to add a banner at the top, and we want to make sure that we get those banners added. Okay, so that's what we're going to dive in today. So a couple of things I want to point out. Number one is, does anybody have a pro account? And when I say pro account, the pro account costs, I think it costs, it's like $10 to $15 a month. If you don't, I'll show you what the benefits are to the pro account. Okay, so there are some awesome benefits to that. So for those that aren't super familiar, we just go to canva.com, and what you want to do is you're going to want to just register. So here we are, canva.com, and you'll want to click sign up with email. Don't sign up with Google or Facebook if you don't have to. I always like to sign up with email. So click sign up with email, plug in your name, plug in your email, plug in your password, click get started. It's free, and that will get you access to Canva. Okay, and you don't have to go right to the pro account right away. And again, I'll show you the difference between pro and just the regular free account. Okay, so let me get logged in here, and I use a password manager called LastPass, and that really helps simplify my world. If you're not using a password manager, I'd highly recommend one. So I'm going to click login. So we're going to get in here, and so this is our dashboard here. And if you'll notice, it's going to show you a little search bar, and that's going to allow you to search for any type of graphic you can imagine. So, we could type in LinkedIn, and look, we've got a LinkedIn banner that we can add, a lingerie shower invitation. I mean, random stuff, right? So LinkedIn, we can type in Facebook, and look at all the different things: Facebook ad, Facebook cover, Facebook event cover photo, Facebook post, Facebook story, Facebook video. What this system is telling us, right? And I can type in Instagram, right? And I can type in flyer. The system is basically saying, hey, we have two things. Not only do we have the correct dimensions for flyers or correct dimensions for a Facebook post, right? Let me go back to Facebook, right? So Facebook post right here. You'll see next to all of these, there's these numbers, and those are the dimensions of the actual graphic that will be the graphic that we end up using. So, and the whole concept of Canva comes from the word canvas, and canvas is like when artists go to paint, they have a big canvas, And those canvases vary in size depending on the type of painting they want. Well, it's the same concept. They present you with a blank canvas, right? And so the blank canvas for a Facebook post would be 940 by 788 pixels. Okay, so 940 is the width, 780 is the height. Facebook cover, 820 is the width by 312 is the height. So let's go ahead and select Facebook post. So I mentioned it does two things. Number one, it formats the canvas size. The other thing is it allows you to select a template. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on blank template for now, but you'll see on the left-hand side, what it's going to do, it's going to load in a bunch of templates that we can use to create our Facebook post. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see the canvas, and that's this space here. And we know what those dimensions are because it automatically formatted the canvas size to the perfect dimensions for a Facebook post. And up at the first thing you want to do is you just want to name your post. Okay, so we'll name it, I'm just going to name this one Facebook Post 1. Okay, so we just type that in and click enter. And then on the left-hand side, we have all these different options we can choose from. And I don't know if you guys have noticed on social media recently, especially Facebook, but if I click on this template has been used and used and used by a lot of people. I don't know if it looks familiar to you, but what they've done is they've just changed the background color, but the forming is basically the same. And so there are a lot of people that are using just this first template. But what you can do is you could use multiple templates. So they've categorized them with recently used, coronavirus, Facebook posts, Earth Day. These are different categories of Facebook posts that you can choose from, or you could even do a search, right? And let's say you wanted to do a search, you wanted to do something maybe for Earth Day. So if you just type in Earth and hit enter, look at all these Facebook formatted templates that are already perfect to use for the Earth. So obviously Earth Day was yesterday, but let's just say we wanted to use this one, we can just click it, and there you go. It plugs that template right into our canvas, right into our workspace. And then we can move things around, we can edit the text, you know, whatever we want to change it to, we can change the width on things. Right, so you start to get a feel for really how to use all the tools here. So, but I really just wanted to show you selecting the right initial type of graphic is key, and then the second step, selecting a template. Now you don't even need to use a template. Let's say we didn't want to use a template. I can click and drag, highlight all this in here, and I can click on the trash can and just delete it. And I can click on this background, click the trash can and delete it. Now I'm back to just a blank canvas. And at this point, I've got a couple of options. Option number one would be if I click the canvas itself, do you notice how this little color kind of grid appears? That's going to allow me to actually put a basic color as the canvas background. Okay, so let's just say I want to select like a red, for example. Okay, so I'll select that red, and then I'll click back over here in the gray space. So now I've got a red background. And let's just say I want to add some text to that background. Well, over here on the left-hand side, this is our navigation. We've got templates at the top. We've got photos. And there's a full photo library. And one of the benefits to having a Canva Pro account is you get access to all their stock photos and their stock graphics and symbols, which can be really, really helpful. So let's say we'd rather actually have something Earth-based as our background. I can just type Earth. And maybe I want to pull over this picture of somebody holding this globe. All I need to do is click on it, or I can just drag it over. So let me just click on it, and there it is. It shows up right in the middle. Now let's say I want to make this the background. If I want to make this the background, all I need to do is just click and drag it up to the top, and then drag it down so it fills the entire canvas space. And notice how it's a little offset to the right. Then I can just pull it to the left until I see that little purple line coming down the middle. That helps me with my alignment, and it'll actually kind of click in place. You'll notice see how it kind of clicks in place as we're pulling things. That's really helpful for maintaining alignment of your different designs. Okay, so now that I have that in place, now I can overlay, put some text over it. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we see, again, where we saw templates and photos, I can go to elements and I can go to text. And there are 3 different text combinations we can use. There are headings, subheadings, and body text. And again, these are just pre-formatted text, right, that are already either bolded and enlarged. But again, we have full control. So I could say add a heading. And notice how when I click add a heading, it inserts some just default text right in the middle. And then I can change that to say, Happy Earth Day. And what I might also want to do is just, if I put my mouse over that, you'll notice how when I hit the outer edge of that text, it changed it to a little cross. And I can click and hold and drag that up, and I can stay right in the middle of this graphic by just going right up along that guideline, that purple guideline. If I get off to the side, do you notice how some other guidelines kind of appear as well to kind of guide me? So the square guideline is going to show you what the actual kind of middle area of any graphic you're working on looks like. So you really want, the goal is to really kind of maintain all your contents of your graphic inside of that little purple boundary area, okay? Because anything outside of that is the margin area, and the margin sometimes when you post to different platforms, it can get cut off, but always the stuff that's in the middle doesn't get cut off, okay? So typically though, I like to be under that margin, and then I like to be centered for my headline. So I'm gonna come down, I'm under the margin, I'm gonna go left, boom, I hit that centerpiece, perfect. And I might even also wanna just change the color of this text. So to change the color, all we have to do again is just click on that text element, go up here to our text color option, and over here on the left-hand side, you'll see some different options. So it's gonna show document colors, and it's also gonna show photo colors. See where it says photo colors here? The nice thing about photo colors is it's going to allow me to choose a photo that's in alignment with the colors of this photo background. So all of these colors here came from a sampling of the colors in this background. How neat is that? And you guys feel free to follow along on your own, or you can just kind of watch what I'm doing as well. So what I might do is if I change this from black to one of the background color photo palettes, notice how when I select a tan or I select a green, notice how it kind of blends right in. It kind of create this nice symbiotic relationship with the green that's already in this mountain range back here. Kind of neat, right? Okay, and then if you want to just really play around with colors and select whatever you want, if you scroll down a little further, there's a full color palette of a wide range of colors, or you really want to get creative, you can click on new color and this little color swath here, and you can actually pull around and select whatever color you want, right, for a full range of colors, okay? And then if you're really techie and understand colors pretty well, you can actually specify what's called your RGB, or your red, green, brown color combination. So if anyone knows what this is and understands that, definitely shoot me a message. I like your style. And you're also pretty nerdy with graphic design. Okay, so we've selected a color, okay? And now what I want to do is I want to add, so Happy Earth Day, I'd like to also add my logo. So to add your logo, we're going to continue to scroll down on this left-hand side till we get to uploads. And we'll click on uploads. And uploads are going to show us anything that we've uploaded, and it's going to allow us to upload more photos or logos. So all we need to do to upload something is click on upload an image or video, and then let's find that logo. You can find your headshot, whatever you'd like to put on this, and go ahead and select it, and then you'll upload it and it'll appear right here. So I've already done that with the Genesis real estate logo. And what I can do is I can just simply click on that and it'll insert that logo right into my canvas. So it's right in here, right in the palette. And what I'll do now is I don't really want it this big on here, and I don't want it right in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit, and then I'm just gonna offset it a little bit. Maybe I'll just put it right here in the bottom right corner, or maybe I'll even put it in the top right hand corner, and and I'll maybe even break this down into multiple lines, right? So again, that's how simple it is to create some graphics, to create a Facebook graphic in Canva. I may go back to text on the left-hand side and maybe add my name, add some contact information too if I want. So I could always click on add a subheading. That's going to add additional text in. Maybe I'm going to position that down here right in the middle at the bottom. And I'm just going to say, Aaron Lacey. And then maybe I'll put my phone number. Okay. So you don't have to, but you definitely can. And what I like to do is I like to make this stand out. So notice how it's not standing out right now. It doesn't look very good. So a couple things we can do here with our text. And again, I want to start showing you guys a few more features here. So what I would do is I want my name to be larger than the phone number. So what I'm going to do is I am going to leave that at this size. I do want to bold it. And then I'm going to come back down and I'm going to highlight my phone number. And I'm actually going to reduce the font size on that. I'm going to reduce that down to maybe 28. Okay. And now it still looks a little weird. It's still hard to see. The name and the number are kind of far apart. So here's what I can do. This is kind of an advanced tool, but this is something that you guys definitely want to play around with. It's called spacing. See spacing up here? If you have a text box selected, you'll see that spacing option show up. So I'll go ahead and select that text box, click on spacing, and we've got a couple options here. We can space the letters out and we can space the line height out. So letters would be how close are each letter and each word from each other. And then line height is how close are each line from the next. Okay, so here's what I would do. I'm gonna shrink down that line height. Watch what happens when I do that. It pulls that number up and right under my name. Okay, and then I might even shrink down the letters. Notice how as I play with that, shrinks them down, or I can expand that right out. Isn't that kind of cool? Like an accordion almost. So, so it doesn't, like, see this looks pretty plain Jane, but notice how when I squeeze those letters in a little further together, doesn't that kind of like make it a little different, a little more creative? And then one last thing that I would do here is it's still a little hard to see, and I like the color black. So here's what I might do. I'm going to show you another little feature, and that's under elements. Okay, that's under photos on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on elements. And elements is basically a wonderland of different shapes and objects that you can pull into your photos. Highly recommend always using the search to find what you're looking for. And I'll just type in square. Look at all these different square options that exist. So I'll just grab this first square that I see, and I'm going to pull it over, or I can just click on it. So I'll just click on it. That's going to insert it right into my Canva space. And what I want to do is I want to actually put that right behind my name and my number. So what I would do is I'm going to shrink that down a little bit, and then I'm going to pull it down here. And actually, I want to shrink it down even a little more. So by shrinking it, it's not taking as much space. I just grab the corner and I pull up. Okay. So you'll kind of notice, and notice how when I'm pulling up, notice how there's a little purple line that just appeared underneath it. That's my bottom margin guideline. It's just letting me know, hey, you've hit that guideline. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to actually just kind of move this to where it's right in the center of this. And you guys notice too, as I align with other objects, it's going to show me those little line guides. So this is saying, okay, you're at the top of this little box. You're at the bottom of this box. You're right in the middle of the box. Now you're right in the dead set middle vertical and horizontal alignment. But I still don't really like that gray color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that gray. One more feature for you. You guys, this is an important feature. It's called transparency. The nice thing about transparency is it allows us to look right through objects. It's really neat. Like, let me click on the logo, for example. I can make that transparent. Right now it's 100% transparent, but if I reduce the transparency, look what happens. I can actually make it disappear if I wanted to. So imagine if you just wanted to put an ever so slight symbol or watermark on something, you could do that, right? So I'm going to go back to 100 with the logo, But for this little background, I think it'd be neat if I changed the background, if I changed that square color to white, and then I made it see-through. So I'm actually gonna go down and I'm gonna go to 50. And check that out, you guys. Isn't that kind of cool? So you can still see the arm going through, but at least but it does kind of focus, that text, right? So let's do something similar for Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day. I don't like how far apart Happy and Earth Day are. I'm gonna squeeze those together. I'm gonna go to spacing. I'm gonna go line height, and notice how those start to come together a little more. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that might be a little too much. The P and the H just ran into each other. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move this over here so I can see it a little better as I control the spacing. And I'm just gonna extend that to right about there. Okay, I'm gonna put that back over here. And you know what? I wanna give this a background. So I'm gonna grab a square, pull it over, or again, you can just click on that square. And I'm gonna resize that square. And let's say that, for example, the square doesn't go behind. Let's say for some reason it ends up above the text. All we need to do is click on the square, click on position, and then we can move that forward and backward. Does that make sense, you guys? So take a look. Let me show you an example of that. Let me click on the logo. Let's say I wanted to move this behind the background. I go click on the logo, click on position, and actually let's go here. Let's grab these guys. Let me just slide these over a little bit. And I'm gonna expand my screen just a touch so we have a little more space here. And I'm gonna click on that background, and let's say that that's in front of my text. Uh-oh, how do we get this behind, right? So what we wanna do is we wanna click on the element that we wanna move forward or backwards, and then click on position, and then click on backward. And you'll notice that that then went behind Happy Earth Day. And then I may go to transparency and reduce the transparency and make that more transparent. And you'll see it has an ever so slight background to it. Okay, so that's how we add backgrounds. That's how we use transparency. Okay, and that's how we move things around and align things in front and behind. And then that's also how we manage the spacing. Okay, whether we want the letters to extend out like we have here, or we want them to kind of come together a little more. Okay, so we just covered text, how to manage the spacing, how to align things forward and backwards. Okay, let me show you a few other features that we have here. So a couple of other features that we have, I can change my font at any time over here on the left-hand side. Maybe I don't like the font that was selected. All I need to do is click on my words, click here, and I can select a different font. Okay, and you guys, there are a limitless number of fonts to select from. And the nice thing is it shows you an example of what each of these fonts looks like. Okay, I can change the font sizes right here. So this is currently at 60. I can drop to 56. I can even go in here and just type in a new number. Okay, whatever number I want. We have already covered the text color, changing that text color. I can underline. I can change the alignment. I can change whether it's uppercase or lowercase, depending on how I wrote that out. I can bullet the items in the list as well, so that might be handy. I can number them, and if I click it again, it just undoes that. We talked about spacing already. I can duplicate something. Maybe I like this box and I want to use it again. So I'm going to click off. And by the way, you guys, one little pro tip is if you click in this blank gray space, it unselects whatever you've selected. Because sometimes it's hard. Like notice how if I click on this text box and then I'm trying to click on the box behind it, it's not letting me. So see how it has those little arrows? So what I'll do is I'll just click anywhere in this blank space, and then I'll come back over here. And if I just put my mouse over these things, it's going to show me which element is highlighted, therefore which element it would select if I click. So I'm going to click. Now I have my box. And now if I want to duplicate that, I can just click on duplicate. And I can duplicate that as many times as I want and use that element over in different locations. Now's a good time to show you how to delete elements, delete logos, delete photos, delete text. Simply select it and click on the trash can on the top right. So we can delete that, click it, and delete that, okay? Here's another thing too. Let's say that I keep mistakenly selecting the logo when I don't want to. And I want that just to stay in place. I don't even want that a selectable or clickable option. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on that and select it. Do you see this little lock over here on the right-hand side? I'm gonna click on that lock. If I lock that, that locks it in place. Now guess what? I'm never gonna be able to move that until I click here and I unlock it. Okay, that lock really comes in handy, you guys, especially if you're working with a lot of different things. You may just wanna lock certain things in place, okay? Especially if you're layering things, putting things over other things. The elements underneath, you may just wanna lock in place so that if you click and drag and highlight, you're not gonna grab that element that's locked. Okay, so notice how if I click and drag and highlight all the elements on this page, I can move all this stuff around, but that logo's not going anywhere. Okay, so we can lock and unlock. And then the other thing too is you can actually create a link for certain things, but that is only going to be available if we save this document as like a PDF. Okay, if we save this as an image, it's not going to include a link because that link just doesn't transfer with the graphic. Okay, so with that said, let's pull in a photo. I want to show you how to crop and resize. So let's actually start with, you know what, let's just say that we're done with this. Let's say that we're done with this graphic. At this point, I've got some options here. I can click on this download button at the top right, and it will allow me to download this graphic. I can select the file type, okay? Here's what you want to do for anything social media related. You always want to select the PNG, okay, a PNG. That's going to give you the highest quality image, okay? That's basically a better version of the JPG, which you're probably familiar with. Okay, so we'll always select PNG. Let's say this was a flyer, we could select PDF. So I'm going to select PNG, and then I'm going to click on download. Notice how it says preparing your download, and now I've just downloaded that right to my computer, and then I can post that right from my computer if I want to. The other option I have is, see next to the download icon, there's a publish to Facebook and then a little arrow down. If I click that little arrow down, I could publish this directly to Facebook. I can download it. I can share a link to it. Let's say I just wanted to share a link to this graphic with somebody else. Well, I can share that link and allows them to download it. I could post this right to a Facebook group, to Twitter, or to Slack. If I click on show more, there's some additional options: Tumblr, Pinterest, Present, email, Google Drive, Dropbox, LinkedIn, right? You guys, there's a ton of options here, right? Ton of options here. So let's just say we wanted to share it directly to Facebook. I click on Facebook page, connect Facebook, and you probably don't see this window, but it's having me connect as myself. So I'm going to click continue as Aaron Lacey, and it's asking what page I want to use, and then it would allow me to just post this directly to Facebook. Okay, but for you guys, you can use that method. I typically will download it and download it right to my documents or right to my desktop, and then post it to Facebook from there. Okay, so that's how we create a social media post. Okay, let's go and let's create, notice how you can expand or contract that menu as well whenever you want. So let's go ahead and go back. So I'm going to click on home, and I want to create a property flyer. Okay, so let's go here and let's click on flyer. And here's a flyer right here we can use. So I'm going to click on flyer, and then I can either select a template to start, or I can just select blank and then choose my template. Okay, so I'm gonna select a blank canvas to start, and then I want the templates to load on the left side, and I can choose my template. There are event flyer templates, marketing templates, promotional flyers, business flyers, modern flyers. What I would want to do, I'm going to type in real estate, and I'm going to hit enter, and look at all these templates that are available. Now you'll notice as I mouse over these different you know, these different templates and photos and symbols and graphics and elements, you'll see the word free. And for some things, you're not going to see the word free. So for some things, you're going to see a little crown, and it's actually going to cost. There might be a fee associated with it. But with a pro account, mostly everything is free. Okay, so that's another benefit to having a pro account. So let's say we identify a logo or a flyer that we really like. Let's say it's this one right here. All I need to do is click on it, and it will load that flyer along with all the text and elements right into my workspace. And then I can manipulate, I can edit, you know, I can change modern to country thing, right? I can change the background color of this if I wanted to. Notice how when I select this, it's locked. I can click unlock, and that will allow me to change the color. So for country living, maybe I choose something a little more brown in nature. Okay. And do you notice how when I'm selecting these colors, you guys, it's not really changing the color? Why do you think that is? Transparency. See how the transparency is on 8? Let's increase the transparency all the way to it's solid. And then I'm going to change the color of this, and I'm going to go over and click on the color, and I'm going to click on white. Okay, that's a little more. And maybe I want a better font for country, right? Maybe country living, this isn't the right font I want. I could go and select a different font. So here we are with our elements of our flyer. And a couple things I want you to take note. Number one is notice how this stuff is really small. See this percentage down here and this little arrows? The percentage over here is showing me my zoom level. If I click on that 40, I can go and click on 100. And now it's going to zoom and show me what this flyer looks like at 100%. Okay. Or I go, well, I want to see everything. If you want to see everything, just click on fit, and that will fit the entire flyer into one screen. Okay. But if you're getting detailed, if you're really kind of diving in and you want to get your spacing right, what I would recommend is that you come in here and you go to 100 or even 200. And you notice how when I'm at 200, I can really figure out nice formatting. I can make sure everything's lined up, everything's looking good. Okay. So I'll go 50% on this. For sale, we can go in and edit all this. We can switch these photos out. So one thing I do want you to notice too is with these photos, and even actually with this text, notice how when I click on this text, there's this line in the middle, and it shows this area as having a solid boundary and this being dashed. That's because these two elements are grouped together. So if I look at the top right, see how it says ungroup? And I want to show you what this means, you guys. So if I click ungroup, it separates them. So now they're no longer connected. Okay. The benefit to having connected text is if I want to move them, I don't have to move this one first and this one second. If I highlight this one and click it, and then I hold down shift and I click this one, I've selected both of these text elements, and I can go to group. Now they're grouped up. Now if I move one, it moves them both. Okay, I can do the same thing with my photos, right? We can group and ungroup these photos. It looks like these photos are actually already grouped together. And what's interesting, it's not giving me the option to ungroup. That's okay. So here's the deal. If I want to pull in and switch out photos, what do? On the left-hand side, I go to uploads, and I upload new photos. Let's say I've already uploaded some property photos. Let me scroll down a little bit and find a property photo. Let's say that this is one of the photos. All I need to do is click on this. And what I can do now is you'll notice that notice how when I move it over this photo here, notice how it actually replaces that photo. See how it actually goes, oh, are you trying to replace this photo with this one? Guess what? How convenient is that? Now, if I just let up on the mouse, it's filled that box in with that photo. I can do the same thing with another photo as well, right? How convenient is that? So it makes it very, very convenient. Let's say that this is another photo. Click and drag, bring that one over. And the last one here, click and drag, pull that one right over. We've now switched out all three of these photos. You guys, is that pretty easy? I would say pretty darn easy. Okay, what if we want to grab and put a sold over this? All right, we can do that. Notice how the text right here is over the sold sign. What do we do in that instance? Position. So let's highlight our sold, go to position. We can either move it forward or we can just move it all the way to the front. So that's the difference between this. Forward moves it one layer at a time above other elements. To front will move it to the very top or the very front. I'm going to go ahead and just click to front. All right. So now we've got a really cool flyer, the graphic there if we want. Okay. If you want to use a different sold graphic, check this out. On the left-hand side, click on elements, type the word sold in, click enter, and you literally have an infinite number of sold graphics that you can use. Some awesome graphics, you guys. And all you have to do is just click on one, and there it is. It'll insert it right in, okay? And this one, some of these actually allow you to change the color. Notice when I have this selected, see, you always want to look. See how the top left is showing a little a color palette here, and it has black selected. If I click on that, I can actually change that to red if I want to, or I could change that to gray, or I could change it to purple or blue. Okay, so some pretty cool things, right? And now I can click and move that around a little more. If I don't want it, highlight it, click on delete. So this is Pro that I'm using. Yeah, so I am using the Pro account. And you guys, I think it's worth every penny. If I were to remove a lot of the different marketing and technology tools that I have and only stick with just a handful, this would be one of those handful. So, you know, but again, you guys, really up to you on how you want to use it and what you plan on doing with it. Let me show you guys some other things. So this is the flyer that we created. And then we can go ahead, if we wanted to add the logo, let's go ahead. Okay, so Eddie's saying that he's not seeing as many items in basic. You should be seeing the same items, but Eddie, here's what's happening though. If you notice when I mouse over these, notice how it says Pro over them. So as a Canva Pro subscriber, I get access to these for free. You should also have access to them. It's just gonna cost you when you end up saving it, okay? So they should be there. It just, when you go to actually download it, it'll say, hey, it's gonna cost you 50 cents or $1 for this graphic. By the way, you guys, if you do that 14 times, you've paid for the membership, you know, so it's definitely would be worth the membership. So I click this sold and add that right over, right? Okay, let's say that this is the flyer we want to move forward with. All we do is click on the download option, and notice how it already has PDF selected because it knows that this is a flyer. We probably want to end up printing this out at some point. Let's say that we don't want to print this. We want to share it on social media. Well, we wouldn't want to use the PDF file type. We'd want to go back up and go to PNG. And I'll go PNG, click on download. Now we have this flyer in a graphic PNG format that we can share on social media. Okay, you guys, so that's that. I know we're at 10:49. Let's do this. I want to show you some other things that I've created. And by the way, if anyone wants to see something created, I can create most things in probably less than 60 seconds. Let me show you some things that I created. So I'm going to click on home on the top left. And I am going to click on all your designs. That's going to show you anything that you've ever created. And by the way, that's going to show us both of the different designs that I just created. Everything gets saved into the all your design section. So there's that. June Jardine helping her out. So you guys are going to see I'm helping quite a few folks out. This is her LinkedIn, her Facebook cover. This is her LinkedIn cover. This is a flyer that I just created for an upcoming webinar next week, actually tomorrow. You guys should definitely dive into this. This is the chairman and founder of Wilson Financial Group and WFG National Title, who's talking about the economy and what's happening as soon as we come out of this and what's happening right now. Really high level, really cool stuff, you guys. Let me just click on that for a second, just show you how this works. So you guys, again, this is Facebook post format canvas. And then what I did was I pulled in my logo. You notice the text, just like we did with the Earth Day, and I put that little white background behind it, more text, little white background behind it. I pulled in a hand, and I got that right from searching in Elements, and I searched for a hand, and I just picked the hand that I liked the best. So I think it was like this one, and I pulled it in just like that. Okay, I'm gonna delete that one. And so you guys, yeah, bit.ly/Pat Stone event is how you'll RSVP. I added his headshot. Doesn't this look like a professional invitation? This is something that's easily shareable on social media. And again, I just created it very quickly right here in Canva. So let me go back to some of my other designs and show you some other things that I've worked on. These right here are Zoom virtual backgrounds. This is a full presentation deck with slides. Here are banners that I created. Let's see what else. This is actually for you guys. I created for your video. Remember that video you guys initially watched? I created this. I took a screenshot of a piece of that video, right? So here's the screenshot. And I just overlaid your logo, and I overlaid my logo on top of it, and that's what created it. Like real into whatever I'm saying right there. Let me go back to all your lines. So as I'm scrolling through, again, some ideas for you, maybe just kind of get you thinking. So some easy stuff that you can create. I mean, all of this stuff was created right here in Canva. Okay, so real easy stuff. So again, you know, I mean, I could go on, but some really simple, really basic stuff. Event flyers. This you've probably seen before. I created that in Canva. I did a little pool party invite. Check this out, you guys. It's pool party time. There's my house. Here it was. This was last summer. Wow, this was like 4 days ago last summer. Too bad we can't do this kind of stuff anymore. Maybe we will someday. So anyway, create a fun little pool party, right? You want to create a fun little invite like this? You can share it on social media. You can text it to other people, you guys. Very simple, very easy. All we do is we'll click on home. We'll click on create a design. And I love just going with Facebook posts because it's like the best format, right? It's just basically a square. And then up here under templates, I'll go event. I'll click on enter. And here's some different event templates. And let's just say I want this one. I'm gonna click on that one. And then we can just edit it from there, right? And here's what's neat, you guys, everything is controllable, everything is editable. You're only limited to your ability to just get in here and just create whatever you want. Let me show you one other thing I did. This was for an agent, just helped her create a really neat little launch that she's doing with her business. Her name's Sarah Lovett, and her brand is Gotta Love It. So, and she's with Compass. So we pulled in the Compass, we grabbed this background, and all I did was I just typed in hands. No, I typed in heart. I searched for heart. So we went to, actually, so on the left-hand side, we click on photos and then click on heart. And this was an option, right? So we pulled that in, and then we put text, grabbed her logo, grabbed the company logo, and that was that, right? This is a shareable social media graphic for her. And you know what she did? She's got 4 core values: heart, family, care, and challenge. And we created 4 really neat shareable graphics, and each one signifies what's important to her and her business. So she said with heart, she puts her heart into everything she does. She says with family, she says she goes all in with her clients, their family. So we selected this fun background, and again, we just reused that text and that logo, and we just changed the words. Care, she truly does, and challenge, it's my time to shine. Okay, and you guys, you'll notice how I'm scrolling down. You're seeing more than one workspace or more than one canvas space. So let's just quickly go back. I know we're coming up on our time. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to click on all your designs. Let's go back to our Happy Earth Day. Let's say we have a holiday calendar in front of us. Earth Day, Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, Christmas, whatever. And we would just, let's just say we want to take the next 30 minutes and create a graphic for every single one of those holidays that we can post to social media. So we've got our first one created. Guess what we can do? See right above this, it says copy page, and I click on that. Look, it just duplicates my existing one. Now I can change this to, you know, happy Halloween, however you spell Halloween, right? I can go over here to photos, type in Halloween, click on that, and I can pull in a new background, right? We just pulled in a new background. And then I can say, go over to text, I can say, hope you have a spooky day, right? And then I can copy that again. And let's do one real quickly. I just want to show you again how quickly we can create this. Merry Christmas, okay? Go back over here to photos, type in Christmas, click enter, find one that I think looks decent, maybe this one. I'm gonna click on it. And then what I wanna do is I wanna have it replace that background. So I'm gonna delete that. Typically what you wanna do is you just wanna drag it over, and at that point, it's gonna give you the option to replace the background. Hope you have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. Remember that, hope you have a great day, whatever, right? So look, Earth Day, Halloween, Merry Christmas. Right, guys? So again, pretty straightforward. You can knock these out pretty easily. So we covered social media graphics. We covered a flyer. You can create really anything you want, you guys. The options only are limited to your imagination. But I'll tell you, you'd be surprised how many logos, how many flyers, how many graphics you see on social media that were created in Canva. So any last questions, anything you want me to just show you how to use before we finish up for today? Can you add music to any of your posts with Canva? Yes, you can. It's an advanced feature, but you can. So you can go over to music, okay? And we can actually select music that we want to insert. So let's just say, let's give this a shot. What does this sound like? Okay, so that definitely wouldn't, I don't know if you guys heard that, but that wouldn't be match Christmas. But let's just say we wanted to select that, we wanted to use that. All we need to do is click on that. That's going to show up here. And guess what? It's now converted this from an image to a video. Okay, so you can also create videos in Canva. Maybe if we do a follow-up to our Canva session, I'll show you how to create videos in Canva, because under templates, if I go back home, let me go back home, and I'm gonna go back home here, and I type right in here, video. Take a look at this, you guys. We can create video collage, right? Video collage. We could do a full real estate video slideshow with photos. So if I type in real estate, hit enter, and let's say we want to select this one right here. So this would be basically what would happen is when I go to download, I can select video. And this will then have the graphics moving around. So yeah, you can do, and then we could also add, I could add, if I wanted to, I could add music right to this background as well. So that's how you kind of put it all together, you guys. It's almost, I can see them turning this into almost a video editing system as well. But right now it's really powerful for graphics, and they're starting to incorporate music and videos as well. So yeah, if we don't have any more questions, so I use Bitly, I use a Facebook group post, I love it. Awesome, you guys. So yes, Kelly.
I just want to let everybody know that if you're worried about getting a real estate flyer, although we could do all these cool things with Canva, you can reach out and email me and I can sign you up as long as you pair and match with me as your title partner for list reports. And Marco and Vanessa are using that. A couple people have signed up with that. But basically, you just have to accept the invitation that I email. Just email me personally, directly, and we can do it because it's a beta test right now in Northern California. And it has some comparative buyers analysis tools that the regular list reports with lenders do not provide. So just email and do that. If you need a flyer at the last minute, you'll have Canva and you'll have this. So you'll have two tools in one.
Awesome. Great point. And the nice thing about that is already created for you. It's super powerful. It's got really great data and charts and graphs. So you guys are all set. If there aren't any more questions, you guys, next session, we're going to be covering content creation and SEO, and Canva plays an integral part of our content creation, really bringing our content to life. You guys, next session is going to be awesome. So make sure you jump on 10 o'clock next Thursday. And until then, you guys have a blessed rest of your day, blessed rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Aaron. See you at 1.
This was really good stuff.
We'll see you guys at 1.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh, my pleasure. If you want to get a little deeper into some of this stuff, let Kelly know. Happy to schedule a one-on-one with you guys. I'm here for you.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We'll
Thank
see
you
you
so
at
much,
1.
Thank you so
Aaron. Take
much.
care.
Bye, guys.
See you at
Have a good
1.
one.